So hello Captains of Armband. I'm Shurab Bose and welcome you all to our latest series called Football Footsteps, where we're going to bring experts from different fields of football to share their journey, to share how they got into the field, how they mastered their craft, and if you want to get into the field, and if you are a football enthusiast just like us, consider watching this video till the end, consider subscribing to our channel, consider sharing this video with your friends who could be potentially interested in this sort of videos and podcasts. And if you want to learn more from this sort of personalities, also get in contact with us. We will share our email in the description. And today, along with me, I have my co-host, Yusuf. So, Yusuf, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Saurav. Hello, captains of Armband. My name is Yusuf Rahman. So today, our guest is Mr. Sahil Dani. He has worked with different clubs and different organizations as a data analyst, as a tactical analyst in football. So before Sahil takes the center stage, I'd like to share with you guys like where he has worked with. So he's worked with Bangladesh national team. He's worked with Star Sports, and he's currently working with Sports 18. So, Sahil, how are you feeling? India just won the Intercontinental Cup.
I think it's, I would say, cherry on the top, because when I started with Armband, I used to host the podcast. I have one podcast and now I am called back as a guest. So I think that feels incredible. And on top of that, India just won. So I would say a good Sunday nonetheless. Yeah.
Basically, you are Armband's Lampard. So you played as a footballer, came back as a coach. So let's see.
What can I say? Armband's always home for me. It will always stay like that for me. So I will always be over here. Nonetheless, even though it's like a 2 or 3 years of gap, but I will still be here.
The result shouldn't be like Lampard.
Oh, yeah.
Should be clear. Yeah. The result should.
Yeah, definitely.
That will depend. Now, just first thing would be regarding your journey. So, like, I remember the first time we met, I think it was in 2020, if I'm not wrong.
Correct.
20 towards the middle probably. And you were then a writer, I think a freelance writer just starting off for Extra Universal, like,
Mastermind.
sorry. Yeah, so you and Aditya both used to write for them. And I approached you and then you recommended Aditya to me. So, just take me through your journey, just take us through your journey and how did it happen? Like, you were a writer, then you started posting the videos, and then you started getting gigs, and like now this sudden jump in your career path. How did it happen?
I think back when in lockdown, I think everyone were confused as to what to do, how to do it. And here I was sitting at my home, all lazy. So I thought, okay, let's start writing something. And then Saurav approached me to write for Armband. Initially, I was hesitant because I was with Barca Times. But then when Saurav was like, got me convinced to the project, I was like, yeah, let's do it. So basically, he played like Xavi over here, convincing players over the project. So yeah, so Armband, I was like, okay, yeah, let's join Armband. It was something new, something refreshing for me, because being a tactical analyst, I always wanted to write and see how it goes. I had never had any end game to it. I still don't have, guilty as charged. But I started writing, and then once I started writing, started gaining more traction. And I think some of my posts were becoming like a big thing on Twitter. Not that much. I think 500, 600 likes, I would say. Yeah, very small. Yeah. So I think people started noticing my work. I feel grateful that it happened. And then I got approached by the then coach Jamie Day of Bangladesh national team, and he gave me the opportunity to become an opposition analyst for his side, for his team. And I was very glad to be a part of it, because I was waiting for something like that. I mean, it was a kind of a breakthrough for me, from being very new writer and new upcoming tactical analyst, and then directly getting this big of a bump. And I was like, okay, let's go for it. It lasted for like good 6 months. Learned a lot from the coach, learned a lot about analysis, because again, this field is something which is very, very, very detail oriented. So learning is very obvious. And from there, once my gig got over, I was again very fortunate to get a chance to work with Star Sports as the analytics producer for the entirety of the ISL 2021-22 season, which was held in Goa. So I was in Goa for 5 to 6 months. So practically over there during the pre-post, which we call PPL in the broadcast terms, which means that before live game, in between the live game and after live game. So pre-post live PPL. So during the PPL, I used to provide with my analysis. So basically, my work was getting telecasted to national audience for like 5 months. Again, not voting, just a small bit of uh, tax here and there. Again, but again, grateful. I'm just kidding. Yeah. So and from there, I was like, okay, let's do something different. Again, as I told, the hunger should never die. So I was very fortunate to start working with Sports Interactive, which is the current company where I work with, whom I work with. Again, it's not tactical analysis role, guys. Very different role from what I did. But again, I've never left tactical analysis. But yeah, so now my role is more about how to show a football game in on the TV before it starts, like to make a 30-second kind of promo. Like for example, if you see a player comp, so how that's made exactly we made for the games. So that is my work currently.
Currently, what you are doing is like making short clips of before the games, and you have also worked with Bangladesh national team. You have also worked with different. So how the roles were different? Could you explain it to us? How your roles were different? But yeah.
Absolutely. I think where being it as a writer or an analyst, both at Bangladesh or even for Star Sports, my roles were different. As a writer, I had to give a very holistic view because if you are a writer at any website or something, you can't have your own opinions on it. Because, I mean, you can add it, but you have to be very holistic, very pragmatic in your approaches. So when I was a writer, I have to think of the whole greater good kind of thing, like the whole scenario rather than giving my opinion. So I think when I was writer, that was the thing. When I became an analyst for Bangladesh national side, then it was completely my thing because it's my eyes, it's my analysis. So I always used to give my inputs on, let's say, if there is a player A who is doing well. So I would, I mean, it can be different for others as well. I mean, analysis can be the same, but not exactly the same. So so my view were more about how I perceive the game, how I see the game. Again, this is something which helps the team and not something which deviates from what the team's vision is and what my vision is towards the game. So you have to be level on that, and then you can give your analysis. So with Bangladesh, it was like I have to provide my inputs on if there is a player A who has like 10 good things and 2-3 things where he lacks. So my work was to check on to those 2-3 things and point out because that's how a position analysis is. It's like staying at the border and keeping an eye on your enemy. So that's basically it's like that, but this is more on a footballing level. So I kind of enjoyed it because again, who doesn't want to be a James Bond? So that was that. And with Star Sports, it was completely different because over there, my approach was to make my analysis understand to around more than 1.3 billion plus people because my work was getting televised on the TV and I would say lakhs of people watch it. So over there, I have to again keep my view more towards the audience, as in if there is a player running, I would provide, okay, this player is running. I would explain why this player ran. But again, I have to be very careful about it and not overcomplicate it because it's not for me, it's not for the teams, it's for the audience, it's for the 1.3 billion plus people in our country. So my approach over there was more about how I can explain one thing in a very simple way that even a child can understand. As simply I can put, even a child can understand. That was exactly my work with Star Sports.
How have you evolved as a person? What sort of skills have you developed, like in the beginning, and then towards the intermediary, and now where are you in terms of like improving yourself also in terms of skills and all, firstly, and secondly, how has experiences helped? For example, has did being a writer help you becoming a better analyst? For example, when you're making the videos, and if so, like what are the sources that they can learn from? Those courses is let's say some people, some that you may recommend to the audience that they can will you follow these particular people or take up these courses or maybe learn this software on that.
I would say that for me, I think one of my very good mentors, I can't name him, so I have not asked him about this, but one of my very good mentor taught me about a thing called adaptability. So he told me that this field is very vast, so you have to always be adaptable at what roles come for you, and how you can succeed in these roles by trying different things. So I've always been a believer of that, and since this is something which was taught to me for like my primitive teen years, I felt that okay, let's try for adaptability. I would say more like a Jose Mourinho or a Carlo Ancelotti type. Try something different. Be a bit pragmatic about your choices. So I would say I tried to keep my heart and my mind as open as possible for the opportunities. As a writer, it helped me to understand how my command is over the English language. I felt I wasn't that good, but again, that helped me, which really helped me to connect during my analysis part at Bangladesh. Because again, if you improve your English, because English is a very common language and you have to use that language for everyone. So every player kind of understands a bit of language, bit of English. So that helped me in my role as analyst with Bangladesh. And with Bangladesh, somewhere where I understood that analysis is a very simple thing rather than we making it very complicated. So I understood how to always simplify things rather than it being A into B into C. How I can explain it as A, B, C as it is, like not multiply it as it's just A, B, and C. That's it. That is, you don't have to multiply, subtract, or anything like that. Now, I think it's also very wrong example, but I feel like people can understand. So I think again to keep it very simple, which are something which I understood during my gig with Bangladesh, and this helped me during my role with Star Sports, like how to explain everything very simple and in a very short way to the audience, which they can understand and they can enjoy. Because again, analysis is a fun part. You have to always enjoy that, and I would say, yeah, you have to just be open on what comes in for you, what opportunities comes in for you, because every opportunity not taken is a missed opportunity. Something I would say not to do, because again, it should not matter if it's small or big. You just have to take it as long as it keeps getting into you, and if you enjoying it, if you truly and thoroughly enjoy it. And in terms of resources for analysis, I would even like there's a book I have written on, like it's not a book, it's a page I've written on which people helped me go through during my analysis days. But I think that's a very very tidy long thing for everyone to understand. But I would throw in two three which I think people can help. So the first is TFA, Total Football Analysis. I think that's where somewhere I started learning with a lot of my peers, because they were also very keen on that website too, which explains it very easily. Then I jumped, I jumped to, I actually forgot his name. His name is Samu, I think. He was a part or still is a part of Hungarian national team. I have to really check that name. I think I'll send it to Saurav. Saurav will provide it in the comment section or in the description. I'll definitely provide him the name. So even his analysis was a bit complicated back in the time, but I tried and decipher it. And the last, which I think almost every football fan follows, and I think if you're not, then you should right now. Again, this is not a paid promotion at all. We are not there for that, but this is something I've learned from this channel called Tifo. I think that's the major source for anyone who even doesn't know the ABCs of football. That's all right. Those guys will get you covered with it. And then comes the news section for the news and a bit of complex. I wouldn't say complex, but a bit of step up analysis would be the Athletic. So I think these were the channels through which I got maximum of my footballing education. So yeah, you can just follow them, and hey, don't forget to subscribe to Armband, because you know it.
You started with Twitter, posting your posts on Twitter. How important was social media to you? And like, not just Twitter, I would say in terms of building connections over LinkedIn, even on Twitter, how important was it to you?
Lewis Hamilton said this very famous thing, cash is king. And for people like us who wants to get into sports, I would say social media is the king. Social media can, I mean, you can't be physically everywhere. How much do you try? Like today I'm here, tomorrow, and then you can't do that forever. So social media is something where a lot of people come together. They try to connect with each other, and that's exactly what I did. I'm very active on Twitter because Twitter is now after Quora. If I was a writer on Quora before, so after Quora, if there is something which has helped me is Twitter. So social media is the place where you can express yourself in a different way. You can bring your different views. You can get sticks for it. You can have people to appreciate for it. It's all upon what you think is right for you and what you think may or may not be appropriate. So social media has been a big part of my life, and even though I'm myself not that much of a social media geek, but I think few apps like LinkedIn and Twitter are something who can make you from zero to star in terms of analysis. Don't, I mean, you can't just post your TikTok videos on Twitter. Don't do that. Seriously. So I would say that if you are someone who wants to write, who wants to analyze, who wants to showcase even your creativity, I would say Twitter, LinkedIn, these are the places, because this is where a lot of, I mean, this is just my opinion. You can't, you don't want to take it seriously or however you feel. But I would say these places are somewhere in terms of sports that there are a lot of genuine, good and different fields of people who can help you. So always showcase your work, even if you feel it's like very, I would say not that good. Because again, even I have that feeling that sometimes my work is not good, but I anyway post it, because any work not posting on social media is kind of a missed thing, because again, it will just improve you. I'm saying this, you can get sticks and you can still improve. You can get appreciation and you can still improve. So I would say be on social media, very important.
I have seen you improve massively in the last 2 years or 3 years is a mindset part, because initially, if you remember, you used to be very resistant to feedbacks. That's what I understood after working with you for a couple of months. So initially, whenever, let's say, I used to tell you to change this name, like I wanted everything to be like proper, like the name, you have to write the full name, not just a surname. Don't just write Benzema, write Karim Benzema, this sort of thing. Small changes that I used to like tell you used to get irritated a lot. But then over the years, over the months, you sort of started improving on those, and then you started to show the results. Because I think I told you this once, that if you finish your article by just writing the surnames, and just by after posting an image, not even explaining it properly, just doing like CM but not writing center midfielder, those things in total will take you an extra 5 to 10 minutes, but those will actually improve your work massively. So now you went from there to here, where now you are preaching others to improve the quality. So how did your mindset improve? Because I think initially, when if you like I told I said that you used to be resistant to feedback, but then again there was this innate desire for you, enthusiasm within you, that like you wanted to learn more. I think that kept you going even when the chips were down. Like, so the numbers were not that good on Twitter initially when you started posting analysis videos, but that sort of kept you going. So what has to be the mindset? What are the key aspects of the mindset that you say that one needs to have if they want to start get into this field, and also what could keep them afloat?
Throughout his book, I was just laughing because he just took this opportunity, and this wasn't scripted at all. I would say to the viewers, he just took the opportunity over here. He just literally took the opportunity and it came out of the blue for me. But again, all smiles and laughing parts apart, but he is very true with it. I used to get very irritated when he used to bring me the feedbacks, and I didn't wanted to improve on it. And it was like, he was always bringing me feedbacks. And again, no one likes it when people, bring in the feedbacks. But after a bit of time, I realized that, okay, he just isn't saying this to take the piss off or something. No, he's saying it because it's a genuine feedback. Because I was making that mistakes. And when I started comparing with the other writers, because again, I'm not that good of writer. I'm again saying this, I'm just an analyst. So when I started comparing, and when he even brought me some pieces, I used to get very much baffled. Like, okay, the difference is a lot. Like, if they are writing over here, and my writing level is this, or even not with my finger not seeing on the screen, that down. So, so then I realized, okay, there might be something wrong. That's why he's saying, and then I started improving. And over the time, it started improving, and I felt good that okay. So one of the reason was him not taking the piss over me again. So I was like, okay, let's improve and show him that, okay, yes, you can also do it. Yeah. So, okay, I started with that, and then I genuinely realized that, okay, yes, I was doing it wrong and he was correct with it. So I think in terms of mindset, it always has to be a progressive and then improving one, something which the sport explains or teaches you in a very different, I mean, if you are from off the field, but in a very unique way. Because again, if you don't follow a feedback, which you think is true, but you still don't want to improve it, you won't go ahead. And for me, sport has always been to be the best in any kind of line of work I am. It's always about me constantly thinking about it, trying to improve it. Okay, these are not Guardiola's lines. This is something which I keep principle. So yeah, don't write down that, okay, these are the things Guardiola said. No, it's me saying that. Again, learn from him, but again, not copied from. So yeah, so I thought of keeping my mentality at the best, and by best mentality, I don't mean it to be a bit rude or to not help others. No, the people who have the best mentality are the ones who are always and always focused on improving themselves. So I tried and adopt that. Again, I think Ronaldo is the best. I would say example of this, because the amount of improvisation he made over the years, the amount of things he learned over the years. There is an arrogance part I can understand, but again, no. His improving part was literally one of the best, if I can say, as an athlete. So I tried to keep my mindset very progressive, very robust, and to always be the best. Like today I'm giving 100, so I'm making sure I'm giving 101. And this is a genuine advice from my side that if, let's say, the day after tomorrow I feel to not give my 100%, but I will make sure that it doesn't drop a level that much. It just remains there. So I would say in terms of mentality, if anyone wants to come to this field, then always keep your best mentality, because always the best wins. Yeah, always keep that.
Any tips that you would like to give to people who are watching, who want to get into football?
Learn, adapt, right. That's it. That's the three advices. Learn, because that's the most crucial, the most fundamental, the most long. I would say it's a very long process. So the most important is to learn, always analysis. Like if I don't recollect a word, the second day I'll just go through that. It's literally like how you study, like in terms of your academic studies, how you always learn. That's exactly like that. So learn. Adapt means, okay, if I have a certain style of writing or I have a certain style of doing something, then I will try to look at my other peers who do it in a different and in a good way. I'll try to learn from them and make a version of mine. That's my adapting part. And the third part I forgot. What was the third part? Guys? Sorry. Right, yeah. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I just used the S word. Sorry, and viewers, I don't support that. So, right, the writing portion, because if you don't write, you won't improve. And again, as I told you, the sport is always for the improvement. So always write. Even I'm telling you, even if it's like a very basic thing, please post it on the internet. Let people criticize you and give you the feedbacks. And again, I'm telling you, that will help you so much that you don't know. I mean, you will never know how you will improve. That exactly how Saurav said when he talked about my improvement. Because even sometimes I genuinely don't know if I've improved or not. So always, please share it on social media. Or okay, no social media. Share it with the peers, someone who you think is better than you and can give you guidance. Me. Okay, just kidding. Anyone who you think is good enough. So please share with them and try to take as much feedback. I think that's how you can write and improve. So yeah, 3 words.
Captains, that's it for today. We had a lot of fun, and I think if you have any questions for Sahil, you can just drop them down in the comments, and I will directly contact Sahil regarding those questions. And if you want to see more of these videos, if you want to learn more from football personalities like Shahid, who have worked in different fields, because we are trying to bring in people who are currently working as football data analysts. So the next 2 or 3 episodes could be regarding that. And after that, we may again bring in Sahil because we don't have any other tactical analyst in our contact. He could be our recurring guest in every 2 months. So, anyways, to end the show, I just like to say, share the video, like the video, subscribe to our channel, and then again, the second podcast will be out soon. Until then, it's goodbye, Armband.